You know, just with Severino, I mean, he was so bad in the wild card game and so uncharacteristic for him, but you had a lot of faith. And I mean, just because you know how talented he is and how mentally he'd be able to handle bouncing back like
yeah, and I think part of it is the steps that I've seen him take this year. You know, you expect players to take that next step, and he has continued to do it all year. And, you know, I told him after the game he grew up a lot today, you know, because you think about he's starting to get tired after 6 innings. It's the part of the lineup that's given him the trouble, and he was able to get that extra inning, which I thought was really important for our bullpen. And to me, that's growing up.
Other questions for Joe? Over here, go ahead.
Joe, I know Judge had that one hit, but that was a key at bat against Bauer in the second. What allowed him to challenge Bauer so much where he was kind of forced to throw fastballs to him?
I just think, you know, again, I've said he's been patient, and he continues to be patient, and they're making a lot of good pitches on him. There's no doubt about it. But he's maintaining his strike zone, and when he gets a pitch to hit, you know, a lot of times he's able to hit it, and he was able to do that tonight. And that is a huge hit. I mean, that's a big hit. There's a big difference between 2 and 4, and it allowed Sevy to relax a little bit. And, you know, they kind of clawed their way back into it. You know, they got it to 5-3, but we were able to add on, and that's really important against a club like this, that we were able to change the momentum back.
To your right, Joe, in the Plaid.
You guys have a lot of momentum going into this Game 5. How important do you think that is for a lot of these young players on this team?
Well, the fact that we've been able to play in some of these games, I think, helps. You know, you play in the game Minnesota, you play in a game where you're down 2-0, you're down 2-1. You're facing a guy that we really didn't do anything off of the last time. So, I mean, obviously, we know we're facing a great pitcher, but there's a lot of confidence in that room, and they pick each other up, and they grind out at bats, and pitchers pick each other up and make big pitches. So, should be a lot of fun Wednesday.
In the center, Joe. Hazel.
Joe, getting back to Severino, what specifically did you see the difference in the way he attacked the Indians lineup this time as the previous game of the wild card game?
I thought he was I thought he was on the corners more. I thought he was down more today. He really didn't hit a spot. I asked Larry after that 6 hitters that he saw in that game against Minnesota, and I said, you know, he was up. He goes, he didn't really hit one spot the whole night in that game. But tonight he did. And I think he was able to relax a lot more. He was able to control his adrenaline. I believe the first fastball we saw against him, for him against Minnesota, was 100. And maybe the first one was 96 tonight. And he was able to, you know, channel things down and make his pitches opposed to just trying to power his way through it.
Seated in the back row.
Joe, each time your team has been faced with a must-win, they've been stepped up to the challenge. Has you learned anything throughout this stretch with your team that's maybe caught you off guard?
No, I don't think so. You know, I've seen them step up a lot during the course of the season, but obviously, you know, when you're in the playoffs, I think it's important to learn how to win those games, and I think you see players mature pretty quickly in these type of games. So, you know, moving forward, I think it's important. Obviously, Wednesday's a really big game, and let's see what happens.
Joel, to your right, Joe.
I recognize it's a lot, but I wonder if you can in some way frame the past 48 hours from how you personally and this team might have felt on Saturday and how you feel right now.
Yeah. You know, when you go through what, you know, we went through on, I don't even remember what day that was, Friday. It's as difficult as a loss as I've had as a manager. Had some difficult losses as a player, but it's really difficult, and it's difficult because I care so much, and it's not just, you know, it's not caring about myself. It's caring about everyone else that is involved and that is wrapped up in the Yankee baseball. You know, whether it's the fans, the front office, the owner, the players, the trainers, the support staff, the coaches. I really care. And, you know, we've gotten it back to 2-2, and, you know, we got a shot now. So it's a totally different feeling than it was the other day, and these guys have picked me up.
You're right, Joe. Ken.
Joe, could you just walk us through the 8th with Dellin and then Hanley?
Yeah, well, I mean, Dellin, you know, struggled throwing strikes, and I just felt like, you know, I had to make the move to go to Cantley. And in a night where you're trying to stay away from Chapman, I'm trying to do everything I can to stay away from Chapman. So I just felt like I had to make the move. His other 4 innings have been really pretty good, but tonight he was a little off.
And also your DH spot.
Yeah. Well, they're due. That's the bottom line. They're due. So hopefully they have a big night on Wednesday.
Hey, one last one for Joe. All right, Joe. Thanks very much.
All right, so guys, let's talk a little about Joe's press conference there. You can see the range of emotions that he's experienced over the last 4 or 5 days, and I think you could probably say that about a lot of the guys on the team in terms of, again, Severino tonight, Jack, a chance of redemption, and this team, as Joe said, picked him up tonight.
I think Joe was as honest and as candid as we've ever seen him, Bob, because let's try and put ourselves in that position. What he and the Yankees have been through across the last 48 hours, Joe Girardi admitted that his failure to ask for that challenge and that replay essentially cost the Yankees the game, cost them game 2. They're on the brink of being eliminated. He's wondering about the rest of the series, wondering about his future. And then suddenly, as you just said, he goes, these guys picked me up. We've mentioned it a lot, that in a short series, the momentum can change like that. And right now, the onus has shifted over to Terry Francona. He's the one who has to answer questions about pitching Bauer on short rest, and he used many of his relievers tonight in the bullpen. So the Yankees have the more rested bullpen, even though there's a day off tomorrow. So it is amazing in baseball, first of all, the emotions and how quickly things can change.
You know, I listened to Joe Girardi and how emotional he got right there, and I think about him. He won a World Series as a player. He's won a World Series as a manager, and he's getting emotional because it's not about him. It's about the guys in that clubhouse who are trying to win a World Series for the first time. And if you're a manager thinking, I might have let them down in game 2 and they're picking me up again, what an amazing feeling that is for him to kind of move forward and say that hope is still alive, that these young kids and some of the veterans who have never won a World Series, they're going to get a shot at it.